Welcome, everyone, to your Wednesday Wisdom with Spirit. I'm Jeanette Biro, and on Wednesdays, we tune into Spirit without cards, without anything, just tuning in through the clairs, through clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, maybe even channeling. Just depends on who's here. So if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. I'm a medium and a channeler. And if you have been someone who has been with me from the beginning, or, whenever you found me, but if you keep coming back, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support, your comments, your encouragement, your questions. You all bring very thoughtful questions, and I love it because we all learn. So I just want to say thank you so much. I'm so grateful, so grateful. So let's tune into the energy today. I forgot to mention that yesterday was Earth Day. We got to give a lot of love to Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. So, I mean, if you didn't get out yesterday to share some love to Mother Earth, definitely do so today. So, I'm just going to tune in and see who's here. So, just hold on one second. Okay, this is really interesting. There's a lot of visuals coming through. This is coming from my council, predominantly the three guides of the light, but I can see some of my other guides with them. And this is really neat because they're saying Monday and Tuesday's messages were very significant. Monday being with the purging, Tuesday with the beautiful heart opening energy. And they're saying now with the heart opening energy after the purge, when you look back at what was triggering you, say even last week, you might be seeing things differently now. Even as much as last week, even as much as a couple days ago, you might be seeing something differently. Now, whatever that purging looked like to you, some of you, I know you mentioned you weren't feeling well, and I sure hope you're on the mend. Some were saying it was more emotional energy. Whatever it was, once you've allowed that to move through you, your perspective is very different. And they're saying when you look back on what was triggering you before, you might notice that it's lost a lot of its luster. And what they're showing me is this imagery of a big spider. Now, if what you felt was metaphorically this giant spider looming over you, now that you've moved through some of those emotions and you look back, you realize the spider's deflated and it's just this empty kind of almost fabric, right? And it's not as bad as it was. And they're saying, take this lesson of exactly where you are right now, feeling that release, or maybe you're in the process of the release, but things are shifting. Remember that what once was perceived as something really significant and big now is very different. So that when you meet something else along your path that seems significant and big, when you spend time looking into why it's triggering you, what it is, you allow it to kind of deflate. It loses its life over you, its life essence, its fear, spider energy over you. And I got to say, I love the energy of spiders. Before this explanation, it loses it and it deflates, and you realize it's just this empty shell of an energy and it doesn't have to hold you hostage anymore. And the reason why this is so important is when we start to realize that the bumps in the road that we'll face moving forward, because life is not about living in a perfect harmony. We're human beings with emotions and we're meant to feel the changes. When we can look to our past and be like, listen, I went through this, I moved through this, and I'm so much stronger for it. I'm not afraid of this anymore. I can then take that knowledge and apply a lot of those tools to anything that comes, next. The reason why this is also powerful, though, is it then can start to take our anxiety of fearing the future and it can lower it because we can say, hey, I have survived this, 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 this. I now know I have capacity to take on whatever else comes. Therefore, whatever else comes doesn't seem as big and ominous. You then get to step into more of your power. This is where you really get to thrive. So Spirit is saying, if you can, take a moment and look at where you've been or what has been purging, where your heart is opening, and look back at what triggered you before to see how much it's changed. Okay, there's power in that. There's such power in that. There's more. Hold on. Okay. Another thing they're talking about is when you stand in that power and you double down on that power, when you really empower yourself. And somebody sent me this beautiful picture of themselves, this beautiful silhouette they caught them of themselves with the light the way it was in the superhero pose. And it was their shadow. And they were so empowered by it. And I loved that idea because Spirit is like, if you stand in that power of recognizing what once held power over you no longer does, you double down on it in that superhero pose that Spirit likes to talk about, and I love. You then are really navigating or changing your navigation capacity of your future. More empowered, greater. They're showing it to me like a plow. You have a greater capacity to plow through to create the path you're wanting to create. Okay, double down on that, double down on that. And so that just means spend some time in really honoring how far you've come. Okay, there's more. Hold on. Okay, they're also saying this is what's going to really help to open up your capacity to interface with spirit, interface more with your intuition, with your higher self, maybe it's your galactics. Again, this purging and this heart opening allows us to connect deeper into everything around us. It allows us to connect deeper into the energetics of planet Earth, but also all of these like hidden realms and hidden energies that once seemed kind of impossible to reach now are completely within our reach for everyone. But we have to go through these purging and releasing experiences to be able to get to those subtleties, because that connection with spirit often happens in subtleties, a subtle feeling. Sometimes they're big whooshes and big clear messages, but oftentimes they can be very subtle. Like when I close my eyes and I tune into spirit, the things that they show me now, I notice right away, but I had to train myself to notice the subtleties, right? Like say if I close my eyes and I see this shadow energy, I now can tune into that shadow energy, that subtle shadow energy, and then it can illuminate itself so much more and show me images and pictures, right? But I had to be able to tune into the subtleties. So when you remove those limiters, you then become more receptive and sensitive. And Spirit is saying, this is where we're moving towards. This is what is valuable. So notice too, then, what kind of subtleties are you picking up on? Are you noticing you're more sensitive to other people's energies? Are you noticing maybe you're more kind of feeling premonitions, or like feeling like someone's going to call and then they call, or someone's going to text and then they text, or something's going to happen on a world scale and you wake up the next morning and it has? Right? These kinds of things. I mean, with one example would be how many of you already had a feeling that the Pope was going to pass or had a dream about it? And I use the Pope because he's such a prominent figure in the news, regardless of your religion. I'm pretty sure you've heard that the Pope passed away over the weekend, right? So how many of you had a premonition of that? Or things of the like, right? Like you're becoming more sensitive. So when you double down on your power, you can tune in better and recognize better these subtleties, which really are a beautiful language, allowing you to interface with spirit, your galactics, your higher self, your intuitive energies, your psychic energies. All of it is coming alive with this beautiful life force energy. But we have to stop and pause and recognize what's different. So I think that's a really neat message for today. So I'm curious what all of you notice. How are you stronger and wiser and better for it already? Even if it's something that just transpired yesterday, maybe it was a week ago. But again, definitely since the eclipse season, like what's different now and how can you stand in that power so you can be more sensitive to the communications coming in? All right. Okay. Well, I will leave that with all of you. Thank you so much as always for joining. I sure appreciate it. And I hope this helps inspire you to connect into your guides. I mean, maybe today's a great day for you to take some time to meditate and tune in a little more, ask some questions, see who's there. If you want to learn how to do that and you're really stuck and you don't know how, I do have an online course at Avalon Spirit. It's a level 1 Lightworker Mentorship level 1 online. You can do it as you wish, but it teaches you how to start that base framework to connect into your guides, your intuition, your psychic skills, all of it. If that feels like a draw, that might be a neat way to really embrace this new you. So again, if it resonates. So I will leave that with all of you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.